In 2026, a video clip with extremely passionate audio surfaced online. A man and a woman. The kind of intense, intimate sounds that made Singaporean Redditors put down their chicken rice mid-bite.
That doesn't sound like property appreciation.
Then came the workplace photos and videos. The man, Melvin Lim, co-founder of PropertyLimBrothers, married, 4 kids, serial entrepreneur, made it a point to let you know he's Christian. The woman, Grayce, she joined the company as an intern. Within 2 years, she was a vice president making $200,000. 2 years, intern to VP. That's not a story you'll ever see in a LinkedIn post about grit and leadership values. What forces actually make a rise like that possible? Now, to be clear, the affair allegations are unconfirmed. How much she was earning is a rumor, but people noticed the undeniable career path. Of course they noticed. Most people argued about whether it was fair. Fewer people mapped how it actually works. There are 3 forces that explain rapid career acceleration like this. And the third one? That's the one that makes people fall as fast as they climb. Once you understand these forces, whether you find them disgusting or fascinating, you'll start seeing them everywhere. PropertyLimBrothers isn't a traditional agency. They're a media company that sells real estate, YouTube walkthroughs, personal branding, the whole, we're not salespeople, we're lifestyle curators energy. Melvin Lim was the face, charismatic, camera ready, the guy who could tour you through a 500 square foot unit and make you feel like you just inherited a penthouse. Grayce entered this world at the bottom. At most companies, going from intern to VP takes a decade, if it happens at all. You send emails that get half read. You sit in meetings where no one asks your opinion. You watch someone with half your ability get promoted because they were in the room when the decision was made. She did it in 2 years. Let's break down how. Now, I'm not here to tell you whether this is right or wrong. What I'm going to do is show you the mechanics. Because most people think career success is about working hard, waiting your turn, and posting the right lessons after every promotion. It's not. It's about leverage. And leverage has patterns. Here's something nobody teaches you. The big predictor of how fast you rise is who you are physically near. Not networking, not LinkedIn connections, literal physical proximity. The executive assistant outside the CEO's door hears strategy discussions, client problems, internal politics. Context the senior manager 3 floors down will never access. The intern who happens to share an elevator gets 90 seconds of informal access. Meanwhile, the guy who finished 3 certifications is still waiting for his calendar invite to be accepted. Proximity creates access. And access creates information. Information creates opportunity. In Grayce Tan's case, if the rumors are true, the proximity went beyond professional. That's the part that got attention. But here's what most people don't sit with long enough. Proximity advantage exists in every company, every industry. Affairs are just the most visible version. The quieter versions happen constantly, and nobody calls them scandals. The people in the room when decisions are made, the ones copied on emails they technically don't need to see, the ones who happen to be around when the CEO is venting. That's proximity, and it compounds. Most people spend years perfecting their resume. Smart operators study the floor plan. But proximity alone isn't enough. You can be near power every single day and still be forgettable. Which brings us to force number 2, and this one triggers a different kind of discomfort. PropertyLimBrothers is a media company. Their brand runs on aesthetics. Looking good on camera isn't a nice to have here. It's core to the business model. In environments like this, something uncomfortable is true. Visual recall changes who gets put in front of the camera. And the camera changes careers. People remember a face long before they remember a quarterly report. Competence matters, but visibility decides who gets picked for the visible roles. Grayce appeared in company content, podcasts, college outreach. She was visible. In an industry where visibility is literally the product, she wasn't buried in back office operations. You can argue this shouldn't matter, but it does. And here's the part no one talks about. The people who get passed over, they notice. They always notice. They just can't say anything. Because how do you complain about someone being more memorable than you? That resentment doesn't disappear. It waits. Who do you think has been splashing the tea all over Reddit? So proximity gets you access. Visual presence makes you memorable. But there's a third force, and this is the one that makes people fall as fast as they climbed. Here's something strange about job titles. They're partly earned and partly performed. The people who rise fastest aren't waiting to be recognized. They're already acting like the title is theirs, and eventually the paperwork catches up. Watch any high performer in a meeting. They don't wait to be asked to speak. They summarize. They redirect. They close loops. They behave like their opinion is expected, not tolerated. That's persona engineering, and it works because decision makers promote through pattern matching. They look at someone and ask, often without realizing, can I picture this person in the role? If you already project the image, you've done half the convincing. Now, I have no idea what Grayce Tan's day-to-day performance looked like. Maybe she was operationally excellent. Maybe she wasn't. But what's observable is how she presented publicly. Photos, professional framing. It didn't say junior employee hoping to be noticed. It said leadership material, TikTok, Instagram, posting consistently as a lifestyle guru, career advice, self-improvement tips, the whole personal brand package. A young woman building a public platform telling other people how to succeed. Those accounts have since been deactivated, for obvious reasons. Most employees wait to be seen. Authority engineers make being seen feel inevitable. But here's what the playbooks don't warn you about. Persona only works as long as substance eventually catches up. When it doesn't, when the projection outpaces the reality, people start asking questions, loudly. And once those questions start, the same visibility that lifted you turns into a spotlight you can't escape. So, 3 forces: proximity, visibility, persona. This is how fast careers actually happen, not through merit alone, through leverage. Am I saying you should stop climbing the ladder and start climbing your boss? No, I am not. The downside risk is catastrophic, and when it collapses publicly. What I am saying is, the Grayce Tan story got attention because of the scandal. But underneath the scandal is a blueprint most people refuse to examine because it feels unfair, political, uncomfortable. LinkedIn teaches you to talk about virtues, grit, hustle, gratitude, the right values at the right time. And of course, humble brag. Reality runs on leverage. Who you're near, who remembers you, who believes you already belong. Both can coexist, but which one explains speed? Pretending the game doesn't exist doesn't make you ethical. It makes you blind. Grayce Tan's story is messy, morally complicated, and if even part of what's alleged is true, it's one of the clearest modern case studies in how influence actually operates. What you do with that information? Well, that's on you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe for more stories about influence, seduction, and power.